What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure coming back to you with another video. Before I begin, let me say thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys allow me to make more and better videos. We're going to try something a little different today. And I'm not sure if you're going to like it or not, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to try it. And what I'm going to do is I decided to troll eBay. I'm not spending, so I'm going to live vicariously through all of you. And what I did was I put together and I alternated between comic books and action figures, graded and ungraded action figures, and then graded CGC 9.8 comic books. I picked out, I don't know, 10 or so items that I would consider buying myself at the current prices that they're listed for. Now, a couple of rules. The rules were that I had to pick out items that I would be comfortable spending the list price on. The price that they're listed on eBay for, I would have to be comfortable with spending that money. I also had to pick out only buy it now items. So it's really easy to pick out items that are at auction, right? And they're at $3 right now, and they haven't been, bid up yet to the current market value. So I don't think that that's really a fair shake because, those items could end up selling for ridiculous money. So I only picked out items that are buy it now situations, and we're going to alternate because some of you don't like comics. That's fine. Some of you don't like action figures. That's fine. So we're going to alternate and go right down the path between comic books and action figures. So the first one I'm going to start with is Dr. Aphra number 3. This is from the original first volume in 2017. I think that this is a book that is being kind of ignored and it's overlooked right now. And I think that this book has a lot of potential down the line. It's a book I've talked about a long time ago, but I haven't talked about it recently. Dr. Aphra number 1 from volume 1 has gone up a lot. It's about a $200 book now, maybe a little less now. The market's come back a little bit. But Dr. Aphra number 3 is the first appearance of Magna Tolvan. And she is a love interest of Dr. Aphra early on. It's a great cover. It has Black Chrysantan, which everyone freaks out about. Black Chrysantan. You guys know how I feel about his first appearance comic and how I think it's overpriced. And it's already dropped like a rock. It's already less than 50% of the market peaks from the Book of Boba Fett, and as I called. So it's still got a great Black Chrysantan cover along with BT1 and 000, Dr. Aphra's 2 droids. It's a good cover. It's not a great cover, but it's a good cover. But more importantly, it's the first appearance of Dr. Aphra's early love interest. Again, Magna Tolvan, who's an Imperial officer. So this is listed for $135 plus shipping. You might even, if you watch it, which I did, you'll get an offer, most likely, from the seller for less. And there's 2 or 3 of this book on eBay right now. I bet you can probably, if you watch it and you just sit on it, I bet you'll get the same offer I did, which was about maybe $100 or $110. So that's the price I'd be willing to pay, and I think that's a good buy. This is a good book, and it's one I still need in my collection. It's one I would like to have in my collection. I don't need any of this stuff. So that's the comic book. Now let's dig into some action figures. The first one is an AFA 80 plus Hong Kong Imperial Commander. The only one I've got loose graded right now of the IC is a Lily Letty. It's a really nice one. I think it's a CAS 85 that I had graded, but this was a nice 80 plus. You can see there it's the wide face variant for the Imperial Commander. It's listed for $150 on free shipping. That's not a bad price, and it's also best offer right now. I'd be willing to pay $125 for that. That's a pretty nice looking figure, high grade, brand new case. AFA 80 plus, that's a pretty good deal. I don't know if he'll take 125. I'd honestly, I'd probably even be willing to pay 150 for it at the list price, but it is making an offer, so I bet you could get it for a pretty good deal right now. Back to comics, here's another one that I think is a really good deal. There's 7 watchers on this one right now, and I was awfully tempted to buy it, but I'm going to hold off. But this is Kanan the Last Padawan. I think it's called the BAM exclusive, BAM Second and Charles edition. So I think the reason this is so cheap is because it does not have Kanan on the cover like the other one does. But this is a nice Darth Vader cover with a Stormtrooper and the Emperor on there. And again, it's the first cameo appearance of the Rebels team. You can see there on the label, first appearance of Kanan Jarrus, which is the first full appearance, and then the Rebels are in cameo in format. Now, the other standard cover goes for about $300. This one's listed for $189.95 free shipping. that's a good buy. That's a really good buy, even though it's a less desirable cover. I'd still be tempted on that one. So that's one to look at. Another good deal, going back to action figures. This is listed as Case Fresh, a Clatu 77 back. And, you know, I know that this is a fairly common figure. This is a 65A back, made in Hong Kong version. But what's appealing about this one is that the blister is, while not clear, it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear. It's got a little bit of yellowing going on. It is unpunched. No price sticker. Probably an overall 80 grade, and it's listed for $175 with $15 shipping. That's not a terrible price. That's not a terrible price for a nice, clean, unpunched Clatu, very slightly yellowed, in pretty good shape there. That's probably like an 80 or an 80 plus figure. So that's another one to look at if you're interested in buying a mint on card Return of the Jedi Clatu. Back to comics. Here's the book I was just mentioning relative to this one. Again, this is Dr. Aphra number 3. Well, this is Dr. Aphra number 1. This is another one I'd like to pick up. This is her first solo comic. And what tends to happen is the first appearance comic always goes the most, right? That's the most expensive book. Her first appearance comic is Darth Vader number 3 from, I think, 2015. That book is around $400 right now, 400 or plus or minus. Well, her first solo series comic is this one, Dr. Aphra number 1. This is another one I'd like to get in my collection. And what usually happens is once she makes her live action appearance, the first appearance comic goes to the stratosphere, and then this one quickly follows in its footsteps. It kind of traces it, you know, at a lower price point, but it also goes up. And this one right now is listed for $190 plus $16 shipping. That's a pretty good price. I've seen it sell for up higher than that. It got up to about $225 during the height of the Book of Boba Fett clamor after Black Chrysanthemum made its appearance. And this is a great cover. This is actually a better cover than the first one I showed you. It's got the droids again, as well as Dr. Aphra and Black Chrysanthemum on the cover. And again, this is her first solo series comic. So that's a good buy. That's one I'd like to pick up, and I'd recommend looking at that one. Back to action figures. This is a graded tri-logo Teebo, the Ewok. It's graded CIS 80 plus. It's been sitting on the market for a little while. It's got 9 watchers on there. I've thought about it a few times, but I just decided not to pick it up. But if are looking for a mint on card murder bear, you could do a lot worse than this one. This is a pretty nice deal. It's an 80 plus grade, and the card got an 80, blister 80, figure 85, overall 80 plus, paletoid, nice tri-logo Teebo, and the list price is $395 free shipping. That's a pretty good deal. That's a pretty good deal. I'd be very tempted at that one. So, you know, just keep an eye out for that one. I've dealt with that seller before. He's always right on the cusp of being too expensive. And this is another one that has been sitting for a little bit. But he's had a few others that are really nice that have all sold. And I would expect this one to sell pretty quickly. Here's another one going back to comics. This is the first appearance of Darth Malaval. Not a particularly expensive comic, but this is Star Wars Legacy number 4 from 2006. It's got a few other first appearances in there. The first appearance and death of Lord Malaval. I like this cover a lot. It's a great cover. I could see this character maybe making an appearance in some show at some point. Just a strange kind of, I don't know what it is with whips. There's a lot of like weird whips going on with a lot of these Sith Lords, and it's also brought that back. I've talked about in previous videos. The latest Dr. Aphra Volume 3 has brought back the concept of Sith relics, and one of them is like a whip that is force sensitive. So anyway, this is one to kind of take a look at. It's a good price too, $110 shipped for a pretty, you know, nice comic. That's CGC 9.8 from 2006, Dark Horse, great cover. I think that's not a bad deal. I mean, you know, I've seen it sell for cheaper than that at an auction. I've seen it kind of sell 85 to 90 bucks, but you could do a lot worse. Here's another one. I'm trying to cover every budget. This is a figure I've got in my collection, and I know this seller, great guy, Gonzalo. He's got these Russian bootleg Oratet bootleg Bosks. They're based on the Power of the Force 2 mold, excuse me. Hot pink. It's retina searing. Your eyes will be permanently blinded by this figure, but I have one of these, and I've got a couple other color variations, as you guys know, but it's a pretty good deal. $22 each shipped is a pretty good deal. At some point, these are going to all sell. They're going to be all gone. Gonzalo bought all of the excess overstock from the Oratet factory, At some point, they're going to be all in collectors' hands. I don't know if it'll ever be worth anything, but to me, it's a pretty cool bootleg to have in your collection. And the color is so unique that, you know, I just think it's a nice item to have. And you cannot beat the price. $22 shipped for that one. Going back to comics, here's another one I've got coming back from the graders here soon. It's War of the Bounty Hunters, Jabba the Hutt #1. This is the variant edition with the first cover and first interior comic book appearance of Diva Lompop. This one's listed for $79. 2 of them have sold. 1 of them is still available. I'd pick that up. That book's going to go up, I think. Going back to action figures, we got a AFA 85 Princess Leia brown hair and belt. It's AFA 85 old case, but it's listed for $495, and I think that's a pretty good deal. I've seen her sell for quite a bit more than that. I know it's an older case, but that's not a bad price, quite honestly. I've seen it go for a lot more here lately, and I don't think Princess Leia, like Stormtroopers, like Luke, they're only going to go up in value. It'd be nice if that was an archival case, but it's not. So yes, there might be some light discoloration going on the torso, and it could get worse over time. So keep all those risks in mind, but pretty nice figure for $500, given that she can sell easily $600 to $650 now in that grade. Going back to comics, here's Dr. Aphra #11. I think this is a good book. I would buy this book right now. $55 plus $15 shipping. I'd buy it right now, but I already got it in my collection. I sent it off to be graded myself. This is the first appearance of Durge, the bounty hunter, back in Marvel canon. He originally made his appearance in a Star Wars Old Republic book, a Star Wars Republic number, I can't remember the number now. It's like 51 or something like that. From the Dark Horse run in the early 2000s, Durge the Bounty Hunter has made his reappearance in Marvel canon, and it was in this book, Dr. Aphra #11, for $55. That's a pretty good deal, and I'd consider that one. This, I think, is a great deal as well. It's only an AFA 40, but this is a Hungarian bootleg biker scout. Pretty nice figure. And, you know, AFA does not label these anymore, to my knowledge, unless you've got an in with Tom Derby. I don't have an in with him, so it's tough to get these graded by AFA anymore. It's listed as no weapon, which is correct, but a pretty nice figure for $400. I'd make that buy. I'd really consider buying that for $400. And you know, one of the tougher bootlegs, very fragile. These are one of those bootlegs it's worth having graded, in my opinion. But really nice. It's low grade again, but again, it's a Hungarian bootleg. It's just hard to find that. Finally, to finish things off, we have Darth Vader #20. This is the first comic book cover for The Mandalorian and Grogu. And this book, in my opinion, is only going to go up. It's right now, this one's listed for $150 plus shipping. I paid $130, I believe, on Mutant Beaver Comics in a pre-order. I think they've all sold out. They are going for more than that regularly. I've seen this one sell for as high as $200 already. So these are already done. They're already in hand. And for $150 plus shipping, this is a good long-term buy and hold, because The Mandalorian is one of those characters, and Grogu are 2 of those characters that have crossed over into mainstream appeal. They're only going to continue to get more popular, in my opinion, unless Disney screws up the character arc for them. So getting this book is a good one to get. You know, obviously we have the season 1 adaptation coming in June, but this is going to go down as his first comic book cover. So I would pick it up sooner rather than later, because I think it'll be $200 before you know it. That's all I really had. I just thought we'd try something a little different. Let me know what you think. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I'll be back soon.